there's nothing bringing it up. There's nothing good coming out of that.
Well, it gets refilled with more left-wing lunatics. And surely someone in this party is saying, whoa, let's put the brakes on this. It's pretty obvious that what we're doing is not so good. Maybe we ought to change directions. But no, they've been in lockstep with the Looney Tunes for so long.
Yeah.
They don't know how to change it. And
yeah, well, I think
I'm not a David Hogg supporter, but at least David was trying to change it.
Well,
maybe not for the better.
He's trying to get rid of the older people. He's trying to at least primary them because they're just sitting there doing nothing, and they're not adding to it. And yeah, I would agree that was a good effort.
Yeah.
However, it didn't go, and they keep on. They have nobody. I mean, what they have is Bernie and AOC, and AOC. She's a good speaker. I will grant you that, but she's an idiot in terms of what policies she puts around.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
What falls out of her mouth is stupid every time she opens it.
Much from what I can get.
Talk about abandonment of the Democrat Party, Dave. Here's another stroke, another nail to put in that coffin. In New Jersey, the International Union of Operating Engineers, these are the heavy equipment operators union in New Jersey, their management endorsed a Republican for governor of New Jersey. You know how long these guys have been in lockstep with the Democrats? Since long time ago. Absolutely thoroughly bought, paid for by the Democrats. And now their management is walking away saying, these people are nuts. They're way too far gone.
I think it's getting so bad for the Democrats that they can't even cheat their way in. Even the cheaters are saying we'll give up. Now that's when you really have
we tightened up
done the job on it.
Okay, let's talk about Iran for a minute. That'll be my closing end of this segment.
Yes, sir.
There are 93 million Iranians, or Persians, if you will.
They're Persians.
In that country, there are about 82, 84 million Persians, people who identify as a Persian race, and some other mixtures of races in there. Now, these people have been howling death to America since 1979 when they overthrew the Shah of Iran. And finally, Israel said, enough. These folks are close enough to making a bomb. We got to do something about it. And Israel's been bombing hell out of them. I'm pleased for that.
Yeah.
You know, Donald Trump stood back publicly and said, I don't have a dog in this fight. The Israelis are going to do what they're going to do. I will support them with armaments, with weapons, with ammunition. We're not getting into this thing. Well, of course, they get into it a little ways and discover that the Fordow nuclear site and a couple of others are buried deeply enough the Israelis can't get to them. So you could bet offhand, behind closed doors, Netanyahu and Trump are talking, or at least their foreign ministers and defense ministers are talking, saying, look, we've got to be able to take care of this. Otherwise, these guys are just going to brew up another nuke because we can't get to them. Trump publicly has said, bad things are going to happen. You folks need to negotiate.
Right.
He gave him 60 days.
You need to get out of Iran. Okay.
Well, yeah. Trump has said, and just the other day said, I'm giving you 2 more weeks. Sometime in the next 2 weeks, a couple of things are going to happen. Yeah. You're either going to surrender and give up your nukes, or we're going to take this thing out. Yeah. Or we're going to let the Israelis beat you up for the foreseeable future until there isn't much of your country left. Now, no place has Trump said, we need to have a regime change in Iran. He's not publicly said that. The Israelis, however, want a regime change. Okay, if you take out the Ayatollah, how does another Ayatollah get elected? Well, here's how it works.
Through
there
revolution,
are 82 clerics.
It would be they didn't get elected as much as they got a revolution that took over.
Oh,
remember, it kicked out the guy that was
Ayatollah is not elected by popular election, not at all.
Right.
The Ayatollah is elected by a group of 82 clerics,
right,
who are as radical and nut job as he is.
right.
82 of them. Okay, remember that number. And they are scattered throughout the country, but most of them are in Tehran. They stick pretty close to their leader.
I say they got about
Donald Trump has said,
these guys,
and Netanyahu has said, we could take this guy out anytime we want to. We know where he's at. We're tracking him. We can take him out anytime, but we haven't. We're not going for a regime change, at least not publicly. What we want to do is for you guys to abandon your nuclear projects and have this inspected by international folks and turn into a real country. Okay, remember those 82 folks. If you're going to have a regime change and it's not done by popular civil war within the country, where the Persians of the country overthrow the leadership and put something else in place, whether it's a dictatorship, whether it's a democracy, you pick it. I couldn't predict. If you really want to get rid of the regime, you can bet that the Israelis and Donald Trump know where those 82 folks are. They know where they're at.
Well, it's not just that.
And if they chose to do so, they could take those 82 out in one swoop.
Yeah, it's not
over
just
a period of 24 hours. They'd be gone. Their revolutionary regime would be gone because all of their leadership would be gone.
Well, I think it's almost there. I think you got one guy standing in the way, basically, and he's like 86 years old. And no, we're gonna continue from the river to the sea and all that other garbage. They're letting him live. Okay, and I think the reason is they want the Iranian people now to have the realization that these guys are weak now, and they need to take over the government.
Yes,
and when they take over that government, they become immediate friends and allies of who?
Of us and
Israel, the United States. And what do they become? They become another Abraham Accord country. And then that thing's going to take off. Then you've got Saudi Arabia. You've got all the African countries, Egypt, and all the other Libya, and all the other countries, Morocco, and you've got even Jordan and places like that. I mean, it's overwhelming what he can do, and I say this is the greatest deal ever made because it's going to change the whole world.
And it could be.
And it could be. And I think that's what he always thinks big. So you got to look at the biggest possible thing. And he's going to get it done talk about a showman, July 4th. Coming up.
Yeah,
well, 2 weeks.
Follow that string correctly.
2 weeks. He's doing a show and a deal at the same time. This is amazing.